Structural organization in animals. So here we are going to see about the various types of tissues, its types, the functions, and few examples related to it. So the first thing is what? Tissues. So already we know what is tissue. What is tissue? Tissue is nothing but a group of similar cells which performs a specific function. Okay, so based upon the function, the features, okay, and where they are located, there are what? Different types of tissues, which we are going to see now. So the first basic, if I take the animal tissues, they are of four types. That is epithelial, connective, muscular, and neural. So each of these tissues is again subdivided into several types. So I'll just write the classification first over here. So epithelial, then connective, muscular, and neural. So if we see in epithelial tissue, again over here we have two types. Simple and compound. Okay, so the simple tissue is again divided into three types. That is squamous, cuboidal, columnar. And you also have ciliated simple tissues. Then in compound, there is no further classification. Then comes the connective tissue. So in connective tissue, you have three types. That is loose, dense, and specialized. Okay, so under the loose, you have two types, that is areolar and adipose. Then dense, in that you have tendons and ligament. Then in specialized, you have basically three, that is bone, then cartilage and blood. Okay, then comes the next one, which is muscular. So in this we have three types. I'll just write it like this down. So it's skeletal, smooth, cardiac. Okay, so this is how the classification of the animal tissues are. And we are going to see about each of the tissues, its features, where it's located and what's the function of the same. So coming to the first one, which is epithelial. So epi means upper. So epithelial tissues means what? Those which you will find as a covering and lining for some of your body parts, some of the body parts. So over here, whatever the cells are there, they will be mostly compactly packed. Compactly packed without, so compactly packed means only you can write without intercellular space. Okay, so this particular epithelial tissues, it's a major tissue in glands also, you can say. So basically in the internal as well as in external surfaces, you will find the epithelial tissues. Okay, so as I told you, they are again divided into two types, that is simple and compound. So let's see the first one, which is the simple. So in the name itself, it's there. Simple. So simple means what? Only single layer of cells it will be having. Whereas compound meanings many layer will be present, or two or more layers will be present. So in simple, it will be what? It's just composed of single layer of cells. And what will be the function of the simple epithelial tissue? It acts as a lining of body cavity and ducts. Okay, so as I told you, under the simple, you have again the types. So the first one is what? Now this types is on the basis of like how they look or the structure of the cells. Okay, like how are the shape of that particular cell. On that basis, this classification is done. Okay, so in the simple, the first one which we have is squamous. Okay, so squamous means they will be, now the characteristic you can write same for all three cells is what? Single layer of cells. So all the cells will be having what? Single layer only. So first one will be what? Single layer, which is thin, most probably a thin single layer will be there. Then in the squamous, the cells will appear flattened. Flattened cells with irregular boundaries. Irregular boundaries. And where are they found? They are found in walls of blood vessels, air sacs, that is in lungs, and uh, air sacs of lungs. This is about the squamous tissue. They will be flat. Okay, then second one is the cuboidal. So in the name itself, you can predict the shape. This also will be single layer again, but the shape will be how? Cube-like. And where are they found? They are found in ducts of plants, plus in tubular parts of nephrons. And where are the nephrons present? Kidney. Then comes the third one, which is columnar. Again, columnar means the cells will be again single layer and tall. Okay, so they will be having their nucleus, which will be at the base of the cell. Okay, so if you have a, like if this is a cell, columnar cell, so at the base you will find the nucleus. So nucleus at the base. And it will also have one more thing which is called as microvilli. Microvilli is nothing but small hair-like structure like that of the cilia. So it will have microvilli at the free surface. So they are most probably found where? In the lining of stomach and intestine. Okay, So sometimes what happens is this cuboidal and columnar cells, they bear what? Cilia. Cilia means small hair-like structures they will bear on the free surface. So when they bear the cilia, then they are called as what? Ciliated epithelium. Epithelium. And where the ciliated epithelium is found? They are found in the inner surface of bronchioles, which is present in the lungs, right? And fallopian tubes, that is female reproductive system. Okay, so this is one feature that this cuboidal and columnar both may carry. Second, one more thing is there, okay, which is regarding what? The secretion. So if the what do you say, cuboidal and columnar cells, they secrete something, then they are termed as what? Glandular epithelium. Glandular epithelium. So what is glandular epithelium? Some of the columnar or cuboidal cells, when they get specialized for secretion. Okay, so for the secretion purpose, when they act, okay, then they are called as what? Glandular epithelium. So two things over here is columnar and the cuboidal. When they have cilia, then they are termed as what? Ciliated epithelium. And when they do a specialized secretion, then they are termed as what? Glandular epithelium. So basically this glandular epithelium is of two types. Okay, one which is called as unicellular and second one is the multicellular. Now what is this unicellular? Multicellular means nothing but in unicellular, whatever the glandular cells will be there, they will be isolated because it's uni. Okay, you isolated glandular cells. And what are the example of this? The goblet cells, which is present in alimentary canal, that is stomach. Whereas multicellular means what? It will contain cluster or group of cells, glandular cells. For example, salivary gland, that is in the mouth, which is present. Okay, so this is what on the basis of the types of glandular epithelium, means whether they are present singly or if there are more of the cells which are present. But as I told you, glandular epithelium's main function is what? Secretion. So again, on the basis of secretion, it is again divided into two categories. So on the basis of secretion, okay, glandular epithelium, they are of like two categories. That is exocrine and endocrine. Okay, so what is this exocrine and endocrine? Basically, they are the glands. Okay, secretion via the glands. So what is endo and what is exo? Endo means internally, okay, whatever the products are being secreted, whereas exo means external. So what is exocrine glands? Exocrine glands means the main function is they secrete hormones. They secrete what? The hormones. Then, sorry, endocrine glands, they secrete hormones. I just wrote it off. Just a second. Yeah. So exocrine glands means what? They will secrete some things like mucus, saliva and all those stuff. Mucus, saliva, or you can take wax, that is the ear wax. Okay, all these things. Whereas endocrine glands, that is hormones. Okay, so here ducts will be present. Here do not have ducts. Ductless veins. So this is all about the glandular epithelium. One is how many are present on that basis, and other one is on the basis of the secretion. Okay, so this is all about the classification of the simple epithelial tissue. Now, the second one which is there is the compound. Compound epithelial tissue. So compound epithelial tissue is made more than one layer of cells. More than one layer of cells. Layer of cells. So their main function will be what? Protection. Protection against mechanical as well as chemical stress. Mechanical and chemical stress. So you will find this compound epithelium like on the, say, dry surface of skin, or on the moist surface of buccal cavity or pharynx. Okay, that is in the mouth. Buccal cavity and pharynx means on the mouth part. So there you will find this particular compound epithelium, because the major function is what? The protection. Fine. So one more important thing is this epithelial cells, okay, they have the intercellular spaces as I told you, but they are held together by certain things which are called as what? Junctions. Okay, so there are mainly three types of junctions which are present in the cell. Okay, that is cell junctions. Cell junctions means nothing but this will help the epithelial cells to hold together or bind together for that purpose. So three types are there. So out of which the first one is the tight junction. Okay, second one is adhering junction, and third one is gap junction. Tight, adhering, and gap junction. So tight means what? Because the cells will be tightly held, it will help to stop what? Leaking. Stop what? Leaking of the cells or from a tissue. Second one is adhering. So adhering means what? To bind. That is, here they will perform what? A function of a cement. So cementing the neighboring cells. Neighboring cells. Whereas gap. Gap means what? There will be a certain gap, so which can facilitate what? Communication. Facilitate communication. Okay, like what type of communication? Transfer of ions or any other important molecules from one cell to another cell. So that is how the communication is being made. That is the stimulus, receptor, all those stuff. Okay, so like this, three junctions are present in the cells, okay, which are called as cell junctions. And as per the name only, they perform their functions. Fine. So this is all about the epithelial tissue. So the next one is the connective tissue. Connective tissues. So connective tissues means nothing but they are some type of specialized tissues which may help to link and support other tissues or organs. Other tissues or organs. So hence they are called as what? Connective tissues. And I already told you three types, that is loose, dense, and specialized connective tissues, right? So in that one by one, we'll see the thing. So basically, in all the connective tissue, in all connective tissue, the cells will secrete something. Cells will secrete something which is called as what? Collagen or elastin. Okay, so in all the connective tissues, whatever the cells are present, they will secrete some substance, that is fibers or structural proteins they are basically, which is called as collagen or elastin, which gives what? Strength to that particular cells or the tissues. But this has been absent only in one connective tissues, which is blood. So it is present in all connective tissue, but except blood. So in blood, you won't find any collagen or elastin. Fine. So coming towards the classification. So the first one is what? Loose connective tissue. So under loose, you have two types, areolar and adipose. Now, what is this loose connective tissue? Again, on the basis of the name, loose connective tissues means it will be having the cells and fibers loosely arranged in a semi-fluid ground substance. And what are the two examples or types over here? That is areolar and adipose. So now what is this areolar and adipose? Areolar means those tissues which are present beneath the skin. Beneath the skin. And they will contain something which is called as fibroblast and macrophages. Okay, so because they are present beneath the cell, what will be the function of it? It acts as a framework or a support framework, you can say. A support framework for epithelium. Because epithelium is the first covering of the skin. So beneath that, this connective tissue, areolar, is present. So it will act as a framework. Means like how basically in the lens, that is your, what do you say, eye lens, and those specs are there, right? There, how the frames will be supporting the lens. In the same way over here, areolar connective tissues is going to act as a frame for what? The epithelium. Second one is the adipose. So here in the adipose, it is also located beneath the skin only, but the function is different. Beneath the skin, okay, because their main function is what? To store fat. To store fat. Okay, so here the things which are present is what? Nothing. That is fibroblast, macrophage will be what? Absent over here. Absent. Fibroblast and macrophages. Cells, okay, these are macrophages, fibroblast cells, all these are cells. So this will be absent in the adipose tissue, so only fat will be having. Then comes the second type, that is dense. So dense, in this, whatever fibers and fibroblasts are there, and fibroblast, they will be compactly packed. Compactly packed. Where they will be compactly packed? Obviously in the dense connective tissue, right? So here, like depending upon how they are organized, whether the fibers are regular or irregular, on that basis only dense regular and dense irregular, like that, two types are there. Okay, so you have two types in this, that is regular and irregular. So this is on the basis of what? How that fibers are arranged. like whether the fiber shows a regular pattern or irregular pattern. So fibers with regular pattern and here irregular pattern. On that basis. So in dense regular, what will happen is we already know the collagen. So this particular collagen fibers, they will be present in rows between many parallel fibers. Many parallel fibers. So many parallel fibers means parallel means obviously they will be in regular thing, right? Parallel. So hence they are called as what? Means one of the example over here you can say is what? The collagen. Okay. Like if you see the types over here is what? Tendon and ligament. So what happens over here is tendon, okay, and ligament. These are what? The types which comes under the dense regular this one what do you say, a connective tissue. Okay, so what is the main feature of this tendons and the ligaments? So the main thing is tendons, they will connect bones to skeletal muscles, whereas this ligaments, they will connect one bone to another. Very important question this is. Okay, ligament and tendons function is what? Tendons, they connect bones to the muscles, but ligaments, they connect what? One bone to the another bone. So that is the reason the tendons which are there, they are made up of white, fibrous, tough tissue, whereas here they will be made up of what? Yellow, elastic, collagen fibers. Collagen fibers. Then comes the next one. That is the third type in this. So here, one more thing. Tendon and ligaments, they are the example of what? The regular connective tissue, dense regular connective tissues. Okay, whereas irregular connective tissue means fibroblasts are the examples of irregular connective tissue. Then comes the third one, that is specialized. So specialized means it's the cartilage, bone and blood. Okay, so over here we'll take the first one, which is cartilage. Okay, and yeah, I'll also write the bone over here. So we'll just differentiate this two. So cartilage and bone. Now cartilage will be what? Basically they will be soft. Okay, whereas bone will be hard. Then in the cartilage there is something which is called as chondrocytes. So this particular chondrocytes, they will be closed in small cavities with the matrix. Whereas here, this bone will be rich in what? Calcium, salt, and collagen fibers. Collagen fibers. Okay, so like cartilage is where you will find, because it is a soft tissue, wherever the flexible parts are there, there you will find it. Like for example, tip of nose, or you can say the outer ear, right? All these things will be having what? Cartilage instead of bone. Whereas bones, where you will find simple thing, that is the skeletal system. Okay, means legs, limbs, wherever is there, wherever hard things you will find, there all the bones will be present. Okay, so basically there is a term over here which is very important in the bone, which is called as, just write it down, osteocytes. Osteocytes. Now, what is this osteocytes? Osteocytes are nothing but bone cells are called as osteocytes. So if they'll ask about the osteocytes, means they are nothing but the bone cells. Okay, so the bone cells will be present in like small spaces, which is termed as what? Lacunae. So what is lacunae? Between the bone cells, whatever spaces are present, that is termed as what? The lacunae. And one more thing is our blood cells which are being produced, right? So from where these blood cells are produced? Blood cells are produced from something which is called as what? Bone marrow. Bone marrow. So which is the site for the production of the blood cells? It is the bone marrow. Okay. Then comes the third one, which is the blood. So blood is what? It is nothing but a fluid connective tissue which contains certain things such as plasma, RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. Right? So RBCs means our red blood cells, wherein they carry the hemoglobin throughout the cells. Then we have the WBCs. WBCs means what? White blood cells. So they act as a soldiers, and platelets, they help in what? Clotting factor. Okay, so basically the blood acts as a fluid connective tissue, means it transports various substances between the organs. That is the main function of what? The blood. So yeah, it just transports, or you can say circulates various substances. So this is all about what? The second type of tissue, animal tissue. Then is the third one, which is the muscle tissue. C, that is muscle tissue. So again, muscle tissue means what? In the muscles, whatever tissues are present, obviously they are called as what? Muscle tissues. So here these tissues will appear long, cylindrical, which are arranged parallelly. Arranged parallelly. So there will be fibers in this. That is, whatever the cylindrical shape is, that of what? The fibers. So these fibers, okay, they will be composed of something which is called as fibrils. Fibers are composed of what? Fibrils. So that fibrils are called as what? Myofibrils. Okay, so the fibers which are present in the muscle tissues, they contain means numerous amount of small fibrils, and they are termed as what? Myofibrils. Myo means muscle. Okay, and fibrils means fibers. So hence myofibrils. So as I told you, this muscle tissue is again being divided into what? Three types. Okay, now one more thing is myofibrils. What is the use of this? Simple use it has is in contraction and relaxation. So whenever you do a workout or something, obviously your muscle contracts and relax, right? So they take in oxygen and give out oxygen also. So whatever extra activity you do, and it produces the lactic acid and you get the pain in the muscle, all this stuff, okay, is due to the contraction and relaxation purpose. So myofibrils' main function is what? They help in contraction and relaxation. So this contraction and relaxation will occur in response to a particular stimulus. Fine. So then Now let's see the three types of muscle tissues.